Hey, hello.
Hi, hi. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good day to you, right?
Yes, in here still daytime.
Yeah, thank you so much for the time. Yeah,
No worries.
yeah. So,
Pleasure.
sorry for disturbing your holiday in Greece, and like reminding you, Angela, maybe I'm meeting this Friday.
No, not at all. I had that everything planned on my agenda. So
Great. So that's very you, right? And so how's everything? How's COVID situation there? I mean, you can do holiday, so then it's
well, I think so far in general, COVID was not so restrictive if I compare to other places. So I think so far is good, and then getting better, but then there is these expectations that we don't know what's going to happen in winter.
Yeah. Okay, but in Colombia, I heard there's a new variant. Oh my God, right?
Well, you would have variants everywhere, so from each country. So
yeah, I think recently there's one from Colombia, and I was like, oh wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, so yeah, thank you for the time. So we are waiting for the people to come. Maybe it's
Sure.
team here. So guys, please show your camera. And this is Angela. Don't worry, she's not biting or what. So so yeah, you never came to Indonesia, right? I know Andres came.
No, I haven't been there, but for sure I have it on my list, on my wish list. So yeah, I really hope that once we really can travel far away, I can join.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And here I would like to introduce Sabrina. I think Sabrina was the one who's.
Hi, Angela.
Hi. Doing good. Quick question. How many people are we expecting for today?
I think about 15 to 20.
Clear. Okay, cool.
It's quite a busy month for consulting. So it's yeah. Later Sabrina will do the follow-up contact with you, Jenny. Yeah.
Sure.
So you only have time in until 1 hour, right? So
yes. So I think we will start because I have a meeting at 1.
Sure.
So I hope everyone has already joined, but in the meantime, I'll share my screen.
So guys, so this is Angela. So Angela currently working in Danone, right? So you're so global marketing controller. But I knew Angela when I was doing the MBA, and then, well, the reason why I was contacting you, I think you were the one who inspired me about sustainability.
Setiap Sabtu sama.
Yeah, so you were the one who inspired me about sustainability. I think about your story, maybe if you can talk about sustainability. But I think on the women, I was thinking like, who's the one who can talk about women? And I instantly remembered you. I think especially on the entrepreneurship. I think I remember you were telling about I think your previous job and this. I think you enjoy this more because this is about your passion and also about women. And also in my team, I think more than 50% is women. I think 60%.
So that's great news.
Some of the consultants here are women. You can see from the name though. So guys, so this is Angela. So the time is yours. So feel free if you have any question. You can write on the chat or maybe we can have a Q&A later.
Yes. Sure. No, I'm really happy that you're having these moments just to have conversations about relevant topics in this on these times. So I will start first with some house rules about the presentation and also info that I think it's relevant. So please mute yourself when joining the session so we are not interrupted. And as Septiana just said, I think we will have a Q&A, not Q&A really, but I really think we can do an interactive session. So not really Q&A, but also if you want to comment, if you want to share your thoughts, really anything. And because it's Friday, you know, I really thought that we can also use some quick game about awareness on women in innovation and as entrepreneurs. So while I introduce myself, please download the Kahoot app or go to the www.kahoot.it, which we'll be using for the awareness game on the next slides. But yeah, so far I think this is important info to be shared before introducing myself. So yeah, basically I really wanted just to say who I am, and perhaps really to share why I really like to talk about innovation topics, and also about women in entrepreneurship. So yeah, as Septian mentioned at the beginning, or not, maybe not, I'm Colombian. So I was born and raised in Bogota, and then in 2019 I've moved to the Netherlands to do the MBA program in Erasmus University.
2016, right?
Yes, 2016, yes. And at that time, I had this opportunity to work for EY in the innovation department. So that's where I really started to get to know innovation and the methodologies. That was the first time I get to know that topic. The current position I have is the Global Innovation and Marketing Controller in Danone. So this is an FMCG company, French one. And my current role is so I'm the finance person, approving business cases at global level. So really any product that Danone wants to launch anywhere needs to be checked, of course, if it's financially viable. And also from the marketing perspective, if it's all the marketing strategy it's right, then so I'm the person challenging those business perspectives. And I myself am a finance person, so all my life I had financial positions. And perhaps about my hobbies, so you need to get to know me a bit better. So I'm a tennis player. I love tennis. I also like to do scuba diving. I think really being close to nature is what really gives me energy, and to really disconnect from work topics. And I also like to run a lot. It really keeps my mind clear. In my free time, I'm a startup coach. So I try to give back to the communities I belong to whenever I can. So I belong to a network of coaches for to the Forward Incubator, which is an incubator that is especially for newcomers or refugees that come to Netherlands and want to build their own businesses. And then most of the times I work with women that are also refugees. And then I think later during the presentation, I will give like 3 examples, the most successful examples that I have from being a coach in this specific incubator. And then we can discuss about it, like which are the challenges and the strengths these startup owners have and encounter in the daily activity. And perhaps, because just a fun fact about me is that as I'm a Colombian, I know how to dance, really any Latin rhythm. So I think that's the best we do so far. So we know how to dance salsa, how to dance bachata, how to dance merengue. Also ping me if you would like to have some tips about dancing. So far this is about me. Then my next slide really would be about an awareness game that I wanted to bring to you. So yeah, if most of you are already in the Kahoot app or on the web page, you can go to the game I have created using the game pin 1348833. And if you haven't used it before, it's just a quiz, and you will select the right answer based on the color code. And before we start, we will be having this awareness game for the women that are the photos you have on the slide. And I just thought that this is really nice to have these kinds of just awareness moments, because whenever you think about entrepreneurship and innovation, of course you always think about, I don't know, Elon Musk or Bill Gates. So it's always males that you think of. So I just think it's always good to get to know women that are also business owners and are also changing the world. So I'll stop sharing my slides, and then I will share my internet connection. So let me see 1 second. So let me see. So yes, so if we start, so I have Septian, Fan, A, Shan, and Mia so far in the session. So I will start the game. You can see, right? Basically the game. Let me know. So basically we will talk about the first startup owner. This is a lady who actually runs a business, which is started in 2006. Her name is Anne Wojcik, and this is a DNA testing company which gives samples of saliva, and then you can really get to know what's the which DNA you belong to, so which region, and then which is your past ancestors. And this company is valued at 2.5 billion euros. And for your information, because I see most of you pick, let me see, Tata as the partnership or the major investor they have. So no, it's Google.
Sorry, but seems like you haven't shared your screen yet.
Oh, it's not really sharing.
Yeah, I thought.
Resume sharing. I think now.
Okay.
Is it working now for you?
No, I think
it's working.
It's already over.
Okay. Then I'll go to the next one. So it looks like no one picked this answer. Then the next one is the next entrepreneur. So her name is Arun Kang, and she built a company that actually is about online dating services. She started in 2012. And she was really the first person to address the concerns on privacy and safety that most people had back at the time, regarding online dating. So the question is, what's the valuation of Coffee Meets Bagel, which is the name of the company? And I think two of you picked the right answer, which is 82 million euros. That's the current valuation of this company. Owned by Karun. Then the next one, so I see Rifki is leading the poll. Then the next person or the next entrepreneur we are gonna talk about is, I think most of you should have used this. So I'm talking about Canva. which is the design and graphic design company. The founder of this company is Melanie Perkins, and she's also currently the CEO. And I think really what tells how big the company this company is about how many paying customers Canva have. And I see 2 people already picked the right answer, so they have 55 million paying customers in 2020. So that really says how successful this company so far is doing. Then I see that Rifki continued to be in the first place and Fan is moving up. Then my next question is about also a woman that is making big changes about a specific industry. And so this person is called Jasmine Crow, and she is the owner and founder of Gooder. This company started as a research, an investigation regarding a specific industry. And then most of you, I see you picked, so some of you renewable energy, some of you rainforest protection, and actually this is about food waste management. So she is really changing the way US is wasting food by having like a supply management system used by many restaurants in US. Then my next one would be a person located in Saudi Arabia. So I'm talking here about Sahin Hussein, and she runs a business about mocktails and non-alcoholic beverage, focusing for the Muslim customers. And then in here, the question is, what's the value of this company in 2021? I see only one person pick the right answer, which is 10 million. So this company has been very successful in this specific region of the world. And so far selling more than 19 million bottles of non-alcoholic mojito in the last year. And then my last one, and I think she's one of the most impressive, and we go to a different region of the world. This person is Kiran Masumdar, and she is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in India. And here the question is, what's the most amazing fact about her? So yeah, basically we have really really strong points about her. Is actually all 4. So she is the owner of the India's largest biopharma firm in terms of revenue, also the wealthiest self-woman in India. And this company reached the 1 billion on its first day of training there. So basically that was it. And I see the winner was, let me see, with 1,100 points, Rifki. Then the second place was Septian, and Fan was the last on the third place.
Yay. Thank you, Alia.
Good. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the short awareness game, and then as you see, there are a lot of women and female owners that are really having great ideas and really changing the way business are being done. So I'll go to my next slide, where we really start talking about the topic. And yeah, so a bit of a link between the previous slide. So, I like to dance a lot, and I really like this quote about Werner Meyer. So diversity is being invited to the party, and inclusion is really being asked to dance. And I really want to be strong about this quote because let's face it, women are not, sorry.
I think you need to share your screen again.
Oh, sorry. Let me
It's
see,
okay.
1 second.
We didn't see the quote yet. Yeah.
Is it
yeah,
coming
I can
now for
see it.
you?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Yes, good. So yeah, basically, I think really this quote states where we are going to. So far, we are being invited to the party, but we still need to be asked to dance. And so things are going in the right direction, but we definitely need much more to be done. So for the women in the session, we really need to step up much more and continue changing the landscape of women in businesses, in innovation, and in entrepreneurship. Just quick comments about Bertha Myers. So she is the Vice President of Diversity and Inclusion on Netflix. And she really has devoted her life to change the way Netflix in the past was built. So it was really a male dominant environment. And on the last 15 years, she was really trying to change the way, for example, how many quotas Netflix had for vice presidents, for directors in the company. So yeah, I think so far she has been doing really good work. And then I really thought, because I'm really a finance person, so I really thought of bringing some context and data into which are really the problems and hurdles that women entrepreneurs are facing currently when trying to reach businesses. So yeah, the first one will be really female owners are 25% less likely than male counterparts to feel optimistic and even secure when presenting their business performance, their projections, their business cases to investors. And then this is actually a study from the BCG firm where they found that male owners are more likely to lie when presenting to investors, or push back when they receive difficult questions or when they don't know really the answer to a specific question when presenting business cases. And yeah, that a bit talks about how women and men are different. So for sure, men owners are much more secure when presenting projections. And well, yeah, that's something that we really need to change. So women really need to step up and be more secure, be more optimistic when we talk about figures and in general numbers. Then the second point is about the lack of networks and mentorship when women are growing their businesses. So in 2020, I think was the Babson University in US found that 28% of female interviewed say they lack really the right community networks and coaches. And that is something that we can really address very quickly. And I'm pretty sure people in this session, you can really join any incubator, any community that is supporting women that try to build for first time their businesses. Then the third point would be about life balance and the continuous struggle that we have. So still in 2021, society demands different requirements for women than from men. So still, women is required to give more importance to family than to her career. And that is something that also entrepreneurs face in daily life. And I'll share, when I share the 3 successful examples, that yeah, this continued to be there. And I think the most important point in here is that to be aware that women can have different choices. So it's fine if a female would like to build their family, but also it's fine if they choose to have a successful career or to invest their entire life into their business. So it's always about having multiple choices and also to support those choices in life. And then my last point in terms of the hurdles is about, which is a bit linked to the second point, is about, I feel like women feel very alone when they decide to be entrepreneurs. And especially on the BCG study, they found that they are most likely to face risk alone. So 38% of women in businesses work by themselves. They don't really look for help. And also they find it very difficult to hire a team. So, for example, on the BCG study, they found that if you are willing to be an employee for a startup, it is more likely that people look for startups that are founded by male than female, if you would like to be employed. So that's one of the last points that women are facing when building your team when you have an entrepreneurial idea. But of course, nothing is bad, and we have, or on the last 40 years, 50 years, many things have changed. So yeah, the future looks bright. Not everything is going in the wrong direction. So for sure, we have many good achievements to be shared. So on the first point, so businesses owned by women were valued 12 million euros in 2020. And so far, those businesses have employed more than 9 million people around the world. So for sure, women are more and more out there seeking for business opportunities. Between 1995 and 2019, the number of women-owned businesses have increased by 114%. That's an amazing CAGR, but still it's a CAGR for many years. So we still have many things to be done. Then the third point, which I really like and really strong about it, is 1 out of 4 healthcare or education sector business ideas are led by women. And the top reason women seated for started a new business is to pursue their passion and take care of their communities. And this is something that I see very frequently when I go to these startup incubators, is that the business ideas that come from women are most likely to be to take care about of the communities and address the current world problems rather than the male business ideas. For example, male are more traditional in the way they look at businesses and more money oriented than the women. So women are always pick business ideas where they can develop their communities. So for example, they think a lot about kids education, or how to take care of the elderly community, or how to tackle food waste, as the example we saw in the awareness game, or they also think about climate change. So that's something that it's really strong point, and that's why women need to step up in businesses, because more and more the businesses and the companies we have generating money, they also need a social purpose. So that's why women bring that side to business. And the last one, which is really blowing my mind and also comes from the BCG study, is that for every dollar of funding, a startup owned by women generates 78 cents, while male founder startups generate only 31 cents. So I always say like, wait, what? So basically, if you are an investor and you invest your money in a startup owned by a female, you will actually get a higher return in comparison to a business male owned by a male. And that also is related to the way women and men take risks. So that's also for sure related to the hurdles we face. So perhaps men take more risks than women in businesses. So far, this is the data update I had for you. And then on my last slides, I would have 3 examples on the businesses that I have collaborated with in the last 3 years, and just a short brief on the strengths and the challenges I saw they were having. So the first example is about Jara Kanan. Jara Kanan is a Syrian refugee in Netherlands. She is a fashion designer, and she wanted to build Anemone. Anemone is a sustainable fashion brand, and she was at the time still undecided whether she wanted to have like a high-end fashion brand or go more into the streaming, trying to change the fast fashion concept in Europe. And yeah, perhaps you see on the photos a bit of the designs she built in the past. She already had customers in Netherlands and Belgium buying sustainable clothing designed by her, and also a photo in there of the team that was collaborating to this startup. So the strength points that I see in this specific business is she really wanted to stick to the values she wanted for this specific business. So she really wanted to keep the sustainable part, source raw materials from non-forced labor countries, perhaps to dye the materials also from natural ingredients, perhaps also to dye manually, and definitely to use refugee labor in Netherlands, because as you may know, from the last 20 years, many people have come to Netherlands seeking for opportunities. So there is also an opportunity to have like an atelier where she can really have exclusively women, refugee women creating these designs. And also, of course, this business will meet the needs of the current climate change crisis. So definitely we have to change the way we buy clothes. We have to eliminate how we buy fast fashion. So this is really an alternative and definitely a strength from this brand. Which were the challenges? Of course, if you source raw materials from sustainable sources, it will be a higher price, and then you have to really so that will be reflected in the prices you sell. Also very much difficulties on finding the right partnership. So she had contacts with the big brands, PVH, you name it, H&M, etc. But then she felt like she had to quit their values. So that's why I see the struggle of, if I do partnership with big brands, how that would impact the values I have. So that's most of the times the struggle the startups have when they try to scale up. And also a challenge she faced is about segmentation. So as I mentioned before, she didn't know whether to go to the high end, so really like a gala type of fashion, or go more to the mainstream. So for example, creating, I don't know, t-shirts or skirts for normal women. So yeah, that's the challenges I see. My second example is a Palestinian, also refugee in the Netherlands. Her name is Nadia Dahoud, and she wanted to create a vegan food catering called Roman. And this is always meeting, also meeting the needs for changing the way we consume food. Because of course we know that the way we consume meat is really challenging. Yeah, the way we the emissions that we have to cut in the near future. So definitely a vegan option is something that we have to take care of to change consumption, food consumption. So the first strength I see for this entrepreneurial idea, and I really liked, is that she had a friend in Germany that already have this vegan food catering. So she just wanted to copy the idea for the Netherlands. And I really like that sometimes you don't really need to reinvent the wheel, just sometimes it's valid to copycat something that you see that is working somewhere else in the world. And it's always valid when you are trying to build your business idea. And she also wanted, additional to the vegan food catering, to have like art and music involved. So she was always thinking about consumer experience, and I think that's always win-win for any businesses. As a challenge, I see and that's for any entrepreneur, she really struggles when it comes to resilience. So of course, when some partner turns you down, on when you face difficulties, sometimes for entrepreneurs is really hard, because it really hits you personally. It's your business, it's your baby. So it's not easy to handle from the personal side. And the second point in terms of the challenge, which also goes back to the data part that I was explaining, is that security and pride when selling a concept is always relevant. And I also see that sometimes when she was presenting to investors, and when she received a tough question to answer, of course, security always plays a role there. And I'm pretty sure that if she would have, for example, if a male partner would receive the same question, perhaps that would be differently. So women really need to build up on their security and on the pride when selling their businesses. Then my last example, and is the most successful example this incubator has, is Rahaf Alimani. She's also a Syrian refugee, and she wanted to have a company that actually would like to replace a coffee option for dates beverage option. So this, as a strength, this is a truly innovative concept. So she wanted to use, dates, they only take the pulp, and they disregard the seed. And actually with the seed, is the same concept as coffee. So coffee is a fruit, then you only use so the pulp you in this case disregard, and you use the seed. Is exactly the same for dates, but actually on dates seed you throw it away. So it's really the waste usage she will be having for this entrepreneurial idea. Same concept as coffee. You roast it, you clean it, you roast it, you let it dry, and then you can grind it and have a date beverage, which actually tastes very good, because dates taste fantastic, and you don't need to add sugar because dates is already sugary. Yeah, the last strength I see in this business idea is the maximization of the existing network. And she was always looking for build connections. And that is something that I think is the most relevant point for startup owners. They are always talking about their business idea, no matter if they are having coffee in a party with a friend or pitching their business idea. They are always looking for someone who can help them. So their business is always on the table. They never forget about it. And that's why they are successful. And then in terms of the challenges, of course, set up.
Angela, how about the factory there?
Yes. Yes.
They have
So
the
that's
factory,
my next.
Oh, okay.
No, so that's my next point. So they always set up that's the challenge to set up the supply chain, the factory. How do you handle with this commodity? And of course, marketing is always tough for startups when they are building and then when they want to scale up. So exactly, that's one of the major challenges they face. So of course, the business idea looks fine, but behind that, they have to build factory, they have to set up the supply chain. So yeah, that comes with everything that you have to set up for a business. But of course, I have talked too much, and we are already at 12:40 here, so 5:40 in there. So I want just to shut up and hear from you. But then my last points will be: you always have the power to help. So really, for the people joining the session, explore the options you have to coach and mentor women entrepreneurs in Indonesia. So which incubators and communities you can support there. And if you know personally someone who is starting a business, really don't doubt to help them. So I stop in here sharing. I see there are some comments on the chat. So yeah. So I see people have used the apps I've mentioned.
Hello, do you see the question?
Yes, I see the question. So Sharina asked.
Yes, so
I would like to ask
the
value proposition. On which specific example?
Serena, can you open your mic?
Okay, sorry if it is too noise. Because, value proposition is the value that we offer that differentiate our business to others. That our selling point, unique selling point. I mean, like that. So because you said that most of the example is seeing their value, but I see someone said that there is nothing new under the sun. So how to win our value proposition under the sun?
So sorry if I just want to refresh your question because I'm not sure I get it. So you are asking how the funds and investors do see the value proposition from startups.
Yeah, even though the idea is not new. That's what she meant.
Okay. Even if the idea is not new. Okay. Well, I in my experience, of course, I can only talk about that. I've seen many investors and funds giving money to ideas which are not new if they see mainly two things. So one, there is a team behind the entrepreneur. So at least there should be a CEO who is the owner of the idea. Number two, they have a salesperson already in place. And number three, if it requires IT development or a supply chain development, there is a person already taking charge of it. And the second point where I see people giving money, even if the idea is not new, is if they have a minimal viable prospect already in place. So they have, I don't know, a device that is somehow already created, or if they have, for example, already a list of clients that they have served in the past. So again, it might be a copycat from existing company, but of course it might be a new geography or attending a different need, in a specific region.
I see. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Serena. Is there any other question?
Can I ask?
And show
Sure.
your face.
Okay.
Anna, thank you.
I'm from the phone. Hello, Angela. Thank you for the presentation. I think it's very inspiring. My question would be, I know that there might be some challenges for women to start building their own businesses. That's why, I don't know, from my point of view, I think that is why the world is starting to like encourage women to start on their own businesses like that. But from what I understand as well, for example, my sister, she just pregnant, you know, and that thing, yeah, the company that doesn't see her pregnancy going well, so that she kind of got laid off, something like that. So I'm aware that those kind of challenges happen in the world of women. But my question is there any obstacle or challenge for women in terms of how they act in the business itself? For example, if how they react to risks is different compared to men, or the way they think is slightly different, because, you know, women may have like more feeling instead of thinking, you know what I mean? Yeah. Is there anything like that happens in the world of women businesses that we should be aware of?
Yeah. So I think you have like up two topics. And so the first one about, and I also see anywhere in the world, so it is not only in Indonesia or in Asia, it also happens in Latin America, where I come from, and even I've seen cases in the Netherlands happening. So, and I totally agree that sometimes I feel like people feel like pregnancy is an obstacle for women to be in top positions. And first of all, I think that is related to a legal topic. So I think governments need to ensure that there is laws to force companies not to lay off women during pregnancy and after pregnancy. So we prevent these cases to happen. And number two, in my personal experience, when women come back from pregnancy leave, they are actually more committed than previously, because they are very much, they appreciate a lot the time the company gave, and they really want to give back that, that specific time and they were given. So I actually think it's on the contrary. So that's from the first comment you were making. And on the second part, so that in specific is related to the data I was sharing on the fifth slide, and is related to the BCG study performed. So there were two findings that I think we need to raise awareness, and that's why women are so important in businesses. So women and men definitely have different risk profiles. And that's why women needs to be in top leadership profiles, because they might give a different risk perspective or view when you are analyzing, I don't know, a new business, or when you are creating a new segment, or when a factory is trying to install a new production line. So women might be more cautious and then raising their hand when they see a higher risk. And then the second point, which is actually related to the last point on the hurdles, is about so female-owned businesses are actually more profitable than men businesses because of that, because women take care more of the risks, they check much more or they take much more scenarios into account, and then they face at the end less I don't know, less not hurdles, but if you check all your scenarios, let's say you are more covered than men-owned businesses, because men perhaps just check 1-2 scenarios and then they just go for it. So you know, they are more, they take more risks, they just don't check if they have everything in place, while women are really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 10 scenarios. So yeah, I would say different risk levels, but also more profitable. So that perhaps if you check it from a portfolio perspective, and if I would invest my money somewhere, I would have half and a half business owned by female or male. Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you, Angela. But how about the way women judge things? Is there any difference? Yeah.
Yeah, on that, I feel like, of course, every woman is different and every person has like a different background. In the experience I've seen from other people and also entrepreneurs, I feel like, so number one, the ones that are really successful are the ones that are able to make agreements with their partner. So for example, if you are in a top position, then you ask your partner to cover much more in terms of the family or in terms of kids, for example. Or also, they are also able to make agreements in terms of their work space. So for example, in Netherlands, there are women who can only work 4 days during the week, and then 1 day they dedicate to their kids. So, you know, there are so many possibilities where you can play and make agreements, but I feel like on those spaces, or when you have really choices and you can set up, when you have like a support setup, you can go on with your career or your ambitions while having a family, while having a partner, while taking the decisions whether you want to get pregnant or not.
Okay, thank you, Angela. I think that sums up the answers to my questions.
Super.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Saska is also working on our, because we also have the, what is it called? The incubating startup like that in the company.
Oh, okay, clear.
So
clear,
she's
clear.
one of the one who's working on it.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk to you next time.
Sure. Happy to help.
Any other question, guys? Maybe from the representative of men, Irfan or Rifki.
Yeah,
question?
perhaps. Yeah, I would like to ask, like, how do you see, how, and that is something, a conversation I also have with my husband, with my friends who are also male. Like, how do you see this happening? Do you agree with it, or do you feel like, how do you see the future coming?
Yeah, or Rani, any question, Rani?
Maybe I want to ask a question.
Yes.
Can you hear my voice
Yes, I
clearly?
can.
I think I just want to know, do you think it is true that the reason why women don't continue their career or focus on creating business is because they need to take care of domestic things like having kids or take care of the house, because there are like people saying that men can take off their mind of domestic things like taking care of kids, but women can really do that. Do you think it's true, and do you think it's a problem for women in doing business?
Yes, yes. So that was part on that was part or one of the points from the data, from surveys, etc. So it is true that women in 2021 still continue to have this hurdle of having extra, or so from you it's always expected that you take care of your family, you do the house chores, you invest additional time on those specific matters, while male perhaps are not. Of course, that depends really on the culture, on the region, etc. But I can share with you from the personal perspective, when I went to live with my boyfriend, we come from a Latin American society where men are not really involved in cooking or taking care of the house. So the first day we moved together, so we said, I told him, listen, this is how it's going to work. We will going to do 50-50, and please let me know if you agree or not. But those kind of conversations needs to happen, and women need to have those conversations. And that's linked also to what I was saying in the previous question. We need to make agreements. And then if you want to take a specific role which will demand extra time, then your partner will need to support you. So there is still evidence that during this year, and even more with COVID, women had to give extra time to family and house chores. So yeah, that's still a topic.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any more question, guys? So Irfan, Rama, nggak ada. Sabrina, do you have?
I think I have one more, if it's okay.
Sure.
Okay. So I'm just trying to understand the difference between women and men doing businesses. This might sound very straightforward, but I want to ask, what do you think is the strength of women compared to men in doing businesses? Aside from their risk profiles. Yeah.
You were asking the style, right?
The strengths.
The strengths. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, of course, every person is different, and yeah. So from the strengths, and when I'm looking at the role models I look at, I would say, let me see. For example, I do think women take much more care, are more visible when the personal side of the people comes in play, when you are having discussions regarding your roles or the positions you want to have in the future. So, for example, I've noticed whenever I'm having a conversation with a boss who is male or female, female always will think about how is the, for example, the position your family is at, or so like, for example, which arrangements you will have to make in terms of your family or your personal side, while men, for example, wouldn't take that much into consideration. And that is something that is a strength when you are having a female as a boss or as a leader, because you will always will have the possibility to discuss those topics, which are actually very much important. Because of course you're an employee, but also you're a human being. So yeah, that's always needs to be into the equation. And I also would say women are more assertive. So they sometimes they see things through lines that men cannot. And that also it's related to the fact that women can, yes, they have really see a lot of scenarios and read through lines. I feel like men in businesses are more plain, so they just go into the data and they take from their conclusions, while women sometimes, of course, they also look at the data, but perhaps they also take into account, I don't know, cultural perspectives, biases perspectives, and things like that, that sometimes is secondary. But for example, when you're doing businesses among different cultures, that actually is on the first page.
I see. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know much, but I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I don't have like much experiences, but yeah, I think I can relate to that. Thank you, Angela.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone. I think we ran out of time, Angela, and
Yes.
so I believe there's no more question, but if there's any question, I think I have your email, so I'll just email you. But,
yes.
Thank you so much, Angela. But before we leave, do you have any last remark?
No. Well, you can always find me on LinkedIn, and then you can just send me an invite. I will be happy to have you in my network. And also please share with the person. I will share the presentation actually, because
Sure.
I don't think you have it. So I will share it with my personal email. You can contact me anytime you want. If you want to have a coffee, or of course online coffee or anything, or just to chat, I'm up to it.
Yeah, and let me know when you're flying here, of course.
Sure. Yes. So
when the
I
time
also
is
have Indonesia on my wish list, and I really hope that on 2022 I can visit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Angela, for the time. So I wish you all the best in Danone in the Netherlands and
Thank you.
your incubator activities. So
Thank you. And don't forget to be mentor and coach of women entrepreneurs.
Yes.
So put that on your to-do list for 2022.
Great. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Yes. Good evening there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. So yang lain boleh stay dulu ya. I think today is the last day of Rifki, right? Rifki.
Iya, Mas. Halo.
Bye-bye, Rifki.
So Rifki, do you have anything to say?
Oke. Sebelumnya mau ngucapin makasih banget buat Mas Septian karena udah ngasih aku opportunity buat join sama Qarsa. Di sini aku bener-bener belajar banyak banget, terutama sama stream 4. Terus bener-bener banyak kenal orang baru di sini, dan mungkin jadi my favorite culture buat Qarsa ini kayak check in check outnya ya, karena bisa sharing dan kenal sama orang gitu sih. Jadi bisa pokoknya seneng deh. Bingung mau ngomong apa lagi pokoknya, tapi pokoknya makasih banget buat kesempatannya.
Ya, mungkin perwakilan stream 4, Bu Jessica mungkin.
Waduh, ini nggak ada lagi nih. Sorry ya Ki, Mas Harisnya lagi ngurus operasi itu ya, anaknya besok. Ya intinya kita sangat-sangat menghargai ya bantuan dari Rifki. Sorry digerecokin bolak-balik ya kan, Anda tahu sendiri bagaimana perubahan-perubahan yang terjadi ya. Tapi yang kita senang dari Rifki itu orangnya cekatan sih, jadi apa yang kita mau sama dia langsung dikerjain, mungkin karena jiwa muda juga ya, beda sama kita ya. Tapi ya saran dari kita sih, ya Rifki juga udah tahu lah ya, stay humble. Kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan apa-apa itu jangan malu bertanya daripada sesat di jalan, karena perjalanan kamu kan masih panjang ya. Jadi tetap jangan berubah karena orang lain. Jadi stay humble, be kind to each other. Ya keep up the good work lah, ya. Jangan lupa WhatsApp juga, keep in touch. Oke? Makasih.
Oke, Mbak. Thank you, Mbak Jessica.
Okay.
Yuk.
Ya udah, ada lagi? Kalau enggak, ya have a good weekend everyone. So hopefully you can learn something from today. Sebenarnya bulan ini ada beberapa women yang mau ngobrol gitu ya. Tapi let's check on the time juga. Let's see next week there's one other speaker gitu. Tapi ya nanti coba rain check deh, soalnya ya kita a lot of delivers too, so it's either postpone next weeknya atau apa. So thank you so much. So hopefully you can learn something. Yeah, have a good weekend semuanya.